Hey, Jalen, Robert O'Connell, Wall Street Journal. You've obviously known Leon a long time. He doesn't talk a whole lot about the process of building this team. But from your perspective...
Sorry, who'd you say?
Leon Rose.
Yeah.
From your perspective, when you guys talk about this group being more than the sum of its parts, the connectivity, both on the court and just in personalities and all of that, what do you see from his philosophy of basketball going back that's brought to bear on bringing this group together?
I think he has a great basketball mind. I also think he surrounds himself with good people. The way he's been able to do this, especially here with all the scrutiny people do to him and everything, I just think the way he goes about his business is as good as anyone. And for the time I've known him, basically my entire life, he's always been that way. And he's always wanted to help, always wanted to have the best possible outcome possible. And so that's just who he is.
Brian Mahoney in the back.
Brian Mahoney, Associated Press. Jalen, people want to know what it looks like in New York right now. Normally you guys wouldn't be here on a practice day. Are you looking around at all? Do you get a sense of it at all? Will you try and look, or not until it's over?
Not until it's over.
Are you letting your family come look, your friends, anything like that? Or
they can do what they want.
Up here in the front left.
Gerardo Lopez, Cultura Sports. Jalen, we know how much Kobe Bryant's legacy means to you. I'm wondering if you have been able to rewatch his NBA Finals performances recently, and if you draw any mindfulness techniques from him.
I haven't watched anything recently. I think the way I carry myself and the way I do things is a credit to how I was raised by my parents. But also part of their philosophy, I think, seeps into the Mamba mentality as well. So there's a connectivity there. I do my best to stay present in the moment, to do the things I can to make sure my mind is right, being mentally and physically ready every day, trusting my work. That's what's got me here. So there's connectivity about it, but no, I have not watched.
Standing over here on my right, Christian.
Jalen, Christian Winfield, New York Daily News. I mean, the end of game two was ridiculous. You had Wemby throwing the ball off of his teammate. You had a wild end. And just when you look at the film, what are things that you guys need to clean up to be prepared for game three?
I think playing better with the lead that we had in the 14th, the 14-point lead. The way they fought back and took the lead is just a credit to who they are. Us staying composed helped us win that game, but we do need to be able to finish the game better. It's just unacceptable with the way we just obviously just let that 14-point lead go the way we did.
On your left, Joe.
Joe Varden from The Athletic. Hey, Jalen. Going back to the end of the Pacers series last year, you're walking off the floor in Indiana. How close did you think this group was to this moment? And then, obviously that there was a coaching change, but outside of that, the roster is largely the same. Like, what did that mean to you as a group to get a chance to do this?
Yeah, obviously the way last year ended, we thought we had an opportunity. The better team won. And I think what's most important is that every year is a new journey. Every year is a new season, a new way to kind of grow as a team. I think the way we learn, the way we grow as a team every single day brought us to this moment, but it's not something to kind of be happy about. There's still a lot of more work to be done, and we understand that. We got to understand that we still have to keep learning, still have to keep getting better, even after wins. There's so many more things we can get better, and just keep having that mindset.
Chris, on your left.
Sports Illustrated. When a guy like you falls into the second round of the draft, a lot of people miss something about you. When you think back on your draft process, what do you think it was that was just underestimated, not seen in you at that time?
Everything.
Jared.
Jared Schwartz, New York Post.
Jalen, I know you might not be looking around just yet, but just what do you think it means for this fan base to have a finals game in this building and for the first time in such a long time?
I think it's really cool. 27 years since the last finals game in this building. I know our fan base is really excited, as they should be. But as a team, us inside the locker room, we have more work to do.
On the left, Zach, fourth row.
Jalen, there was a video after you guys clinched the finals. Everyone was celebrating. You were kind of just sitting there, like, looking extremely focused. You've been the whole way through this finals. Is there any part of you that it doesn't seem like you allow yourself to enjoy any success, that you're always focused on the next thing? Where does that come from?
Well, that video, I was actually icing. So my feet were in a tub and I was icing my knees. I didn't really want to get up. But in my mind, there's nothing really to celebrate yet. It's still a lot of work to be done.
Over here, Ian.
Ian O'Connor with The Athletic. Jalen, you obviously had experience in this building in the Big East and with the Mavericks, but for someone who's never experienced it, can you describe what it's like to be a home player, a star player in this building?
I've always said this, and I've felt the amount of love I've gotten from this fan base and from the city since day one. I think it's grown over the years, but I'm so thankful. I'm so honored to be able to put New York across my chest. Wouldn't trade that feeling for anything in the world.
Hey, OG, Liam McEwen from Sports Illustrated. Nice to meet you. Jalen's numbers offensively obviously haven't been quite up to what he's capable of, but he's still stepped up and made huge shot after huge shot for you guys in the clutch. As an elite defender yourself, can you speak a little bit to what makes it just so hard to guard him?
He's a lot of counters. He's relentless. Doesn't matter if he's missing shots or making shots. He's always the same way, always composed and poised and always aggressive.
Second question right here.
Hey, OG. Sam Brock with NBC News. Obviously, Victor Wembanyama presents a physical player that the league has never seen before. But the strength that you brought to the table and also the connectivity of all of your front court players seems to have been a counterpunch so far to that. What version of Wemby are you expecting for Game 3?
The usual, aggressive, talented, relentless, the usual Wemby.
Third row in the middle.
Hey, OG. Noah with Booster Report. I want to know what you're looking forward to most returning to the Garden for Game 3.
Oh, just the fans, I know it's going to be crazy, they're always behind us, always rowdy and excited, and I know it's just going to be really cool.
First row.
Hey, OG, Scott Campbell with The Score. You guys are obviously on like a generational heater right now. I'm curious, from your perspective, what does that look like every day, like being that level of locked in?
It starts in like our film, our practices, the way we talk with our coaches. Like everyone's on the same page, locked in, dialed in, focused on the same goal, and just taking it day by day.
Is that something you can feel like as you're building on this run?
Yeah, you can feel it, you can see it. Everyone's just dialed in right now.
Third row here on the left.
Hey, OG. That's a little louder than I thought. Carol from Sportico. President's going to be in attendance tomorrow. We don't know if he's going to be courtside or in a suite, but how do you think his presence will affect the gameplay, and will it motivate you guys, or how do you think it will affect the game?
I think he'll just be there watching the game. We're going to go as usual, just play our game, try to win the game.
Any other questions for OG? Last row here on the left.
Hi, OG. This is Hussein Alou from Bahrain. We have seen the last game that there were some lead that the Knicks had, some strong lead, but in the last minute, things have changed. This might cost to the game. So how are you going to prepare to prevent that from happening?
Oh, just same as usual, We know basketball's a game of runs. At the end, they went on a run. But, that's how basketball goes. So just doing the usual, trying to be locked in for 48 minutes, and knowing teams will go on runs, but we're going to go on a run too. So just responding to the run.
Hi, Mikal. Nacho Garcia, Marca. I would like to go back to 2016, 2018 in Villanova. If you have some memories that are coming in these finals from what happened those years, and you particularly, if you have any influence also about what happened with Phoenix in 2021. I mean, your last experiences with this kind of scenario.
Yeah. In college, I guess, being, winning championships. That's pretty much it. Just being together, being a team, and playing hard and trying to do the right thing. And finals, just same situation, being up 2-0. Just got to keep fighting. And I think we do a great job as a team of always, knowing that it's 0-0 after every win. And staying locked in on the next game.
Zach, fourth row on the left.
Mikal, what do you remember about that finals when you were up 2-0, and have you kind of reminded your teammates that 2-0 doesn't mean anything?
I just remember just losing 4 straight. That's what I remember out of that. And they all know too. And they all understand as well. Just know that the series far from over, and gotta keep being playing desperate and be the more desperate team. But we do a great job, and we understand that after every game, no matter what, it's always 0-0 at the end of the day.
Finals, losing, going from 2-0 up, stick with you for a while?
It's always gonna stick with you.
Fifth row on the right.
Hi, Mikal. Chris Persianen with Clutch Points over here. We talked earlier in the playoffs about the list of star guards that was building up that you were guarding. Now you got some young kids in the mix, the Slash brothers over in San Antonio. What challenges have they presented, and what challenges have you felt you've had to adjust to defensively throughout this series thus far?
All their guards. All their players got a really good team. But their ability, their user speed, quickness, and I think just physical, and they can finish really well. Bring challenges. Just guard them as a team, and help each other out. Obviously, you got 5 guys out there on the tandem, but just playing good team defense. But they got a lot of great players over there.
Chris, over here on the right.
Jalen, Chris Mannix, Sports Illustrated. You were drafted the same year as Jalen in 2018. I'm wondering what you were thinking when you saw him kind of slip all the way to the second round, and what do you think teams didn't kind of appreciate about him at that time?
I think I think sometimes when it leads up to the draft, I think like measurements and stuff and all them things, it's just too important for teams, besides sometimes just watching, basketball, and I don't know how much more he has to do, winning, player of the year, national player of the year, leading his team to a championship. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a GM or anything, but I think I wouldn't make him wait all the way to the second round.
John in the middle.
They've had a lot more transition opportunities than you guys have had in this series, but they haven't scored very efficiently in those transitions. Can you tell me about like y'all's defensive philosophy, getting back and not ceding anything easy?
Yeah, they're a really good transition team, and you got to get back, show bodies, and I think we still got to do a way better job. I know what you're saying might sound like it, but for us, I still think we got to do way better. I don't think we, up to what we're supposed to be doing as a team defensively in transition. We just got to, obviously we do some good things, but I think there's a whole lot of room to get better.
Christian over here, second row.
Christian Winfield, New York Daily News. Piggybacking off of that, if Wemby doesn't throw the ball off his teammates' back, the end of the game could be different. Just when you think about that fourth quarter and you think about the game in totality, what are some other areas that you feel like you guys need to improve on for Game 3? Yeah, just got to be better the whole fourth. Come turnover, shot selection, defense, transition defense. I think I had a lot of transition defense in that fourth quarter itself. And keep going. Can't get too comfortable. We had a good lead, but we know how the league works. And being this far, playing against a really good team, no lead's ever safe. But yeah, I think a poor fourth by us. Obviously,
with all that happened, to have that resiliency to stay together and stay mentally locked in and still find a way to win. But, you know, you can't do that to a team, you know, that's that good. Given those chances like that, we got to be way better.
Over here in the front.
Hey, Mikal. Sergio Andrés, Prime Video, Undraftados, Spain. Obviously, you've played a lot of big games in your career so far. I was just curious, where would you rank Game 3 of the NBA Finals tomorrow at Madison Square Garden? And also, I guess every group of players wants that 0-0 mentality, you know? What's been different about this group? How have you guys kept going 13 times now?
You said rank the Game 3? Yes. I don't know. We haven't played yet, so I'm not sure how to rank that one. But what else? What did you say? What else? What was the 2 and 3, part 2, 3? I think the end was something about winning straight. Personally, I think we really don't, you know, care too much about, you know, the winning streak or anything like that. Because, you know, all that's in the past. You know, I think we just, to us, is 0-0. And we just try to take it one game at a time. And our most important game is the next game because it's our next game. So not really too worried, not really focused on that. We just try to take it day by day and attack that game.
All the way in the back right.
Peace, Mikal. It's Jada from Joe and Jada. You had a little slump offensively early in the playoffs, but then you got back in your bag. How important was it for Coach Brown, the staff, and your teammates to stay down with you?
Yeah, very important. Just, you know, help me just stay in the right mindset. But yeah, you know, they helped me out a lot and just staying together as a group and knowing the biggest goal is to win. So, you know, personally, I think I got to be the best version of myself for us to have a chance.
Question all the way in the back left.
What's me? All right,
go ahead.
I'm Jeremiah. Nice to meet you. Quick question for you. What did it take each and every day to go out there and play all 82 games for about 6 years straight?
Yeah. Just want to be out there. You know what I'm saying? Want to grow every day, be better. It's kind of how I was raised, kind of how when I was in high school, college, you know, my coaches always, you know, preach playing every game. If you banged up a little bit, they make you play. So just having that mindset, I don't know, I think subconsciously, you know, knowing how the league goes is, you know, never, you know, the more I think about it, to never, ever kind of leave a window open for somebody to take your spot. I think that's kind of been subconsciously staying with my mind ever since I first got in the league. You know, I always play no matter what, but I think that's just, you know, another aspect that kind of, you know, got to me was always just, you never know. You know, you never know how, you know, you might go out for a week or two and maybe the next guy step up and maybe the team play better. And then maybe now, you know, coaching and the franchise, the organization might look at you a little bit different. So I kind of try to, I think that's subconsciously always in the back of my head and just try to stay out there and compete, you know, at all times.
Last question, back right.
Hey, Mikal, Leandro Carranza from NBA Latin America. The Spurs look different this series so far. So I'm curious, do you label yourself as a team that makes the other team adapt to your game plan? Is that your biggest strength?
No, I think we just go out there and just play hard and follow what we got to do. And, you know, I think we worry more about ourselves and what we got to do to be better. Yeah, pretty much that.